You're not a race in Brazil. Just quit thinking like that. It's stupid. Doesn't work because Brazil it's the most mixed country in the world.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Approaching girls in the gym work out there. Yeah, it does work. Because people are genuinely speaking with each other everywhere here, right? So there's no wrong place to talk to a pretty girl at all. The only disclaimer I would put in there is that people tend to think about safety a lot, right? So it might not be the best place in a crowded place where there's actual safety aspects to consider. Then she might not have time or wanting to speak to you, like in an intersection of a busy street in Copacabana, something like that. Gyms, yeah, totally fine. It works.
And then Sammy says, and this is a great one from the both of you. Been hearing a lot about the BS about race issue, blah, blah, blah. What do you guys think about that? I'll comment on that first because I've actually spoken about that. So there are certain content creators within the space that do raise the issue of race. And, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? So if you believe that that is your opinion, that you believe that they don't want you because of your race, cool. My thing is, don't generalize that to everyone else because that was not my experience. I'm sure Swedish Gringo, that was not your experience. So here's the thing, to cut to the chase. There's something there for everyone in Brazil. So if a woman doesn't like you because quote unquote of your race, that's her. That doesn't mean that the next woman down the block is going to feel the same way. Don't take a small sample of women, 2, 3 of them or 4 of them, and think that that applies to every single woman. Or don't just go to one city in Brazil and think that, oh, because this city's like that, every other city's like that, because you haven't been around Brazil. But how do you have to answer that question, Swedish Gringo?
Yeah, I'm going to be just a little edgy again then and just say, no, you're not a race in Brazil. Just quit thinking like that. It's stupid. It doesn't work because Brazil it's the most mixed country in the world. All the races exist here. They have all the mix. So you're not a race here. You're a person. What you really have to work on is your personality. Everything is about energy. So I haven't even heard of a girl here rejecting you because of race as a reason. You're being rejected because you're not cool enough. Cool is used a lot here. It means you're not sympathetic enough or you're not interesting enough. The girls are with every flavor, any kind of man here. You just have to be interesting for her. You just have to bring energy to the table. And I'm sure just putting race aside will help you a lot to just bring the good stuff, bring the good energy. That's basically all I have to say about that. I don't think it applies that way in Brazil. Of course, there might be girls with preferences, but it's such a huge generalization. I simply don't believe it works that way.
You sound like this. You sound like a turkey when you talk in Portuguese.
Olha, gente, ele é muito gato. Afrontoso, Jaime afrontoso.
Quê? Hablamos de mim.
Afrontoso.
Isso, afrontoso.
Como é que explico? Você está me afrontando, como é que fala, gente? Me confrontando.
No, I'm not confrontational. I'm nice. I'm nice guy.
Like me. Like nem
like me. No, you only won.
Afrontoso.
Ya tú ganaste una, yo tengo que ganar una también.
No, afrontoso.
La próxima vez que hagamos una batalla, yo te voy a llamar afrontosa.
Guys, let's go.
Afrontosa.
Não, só eu posso. Gente, é muito gato.
Daisy, tu hablas muy rápido.
Muy rápido.
Sí, cuando hablas portugués.
Brasileiro já fala muito rápido. O brasileiro fala rápido.
Sim.
Mas o meu sotaque fala mais rápido ainda.
You sound like this. You sound like a turkey when you talk in Portuguese.
Bye, Jaime.
Afrentosa, no me da.
Beijo.
Exactly. Like you said, man, people have their preferences. They're entitled to their preferences. And, you know, like I said, everyone's experience is different. Just because one person's experience is that way doesn't mean that every single person that's of color, including myself, for example, going to Brazil, that's going to be my experience, because that was not my experience. But yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Shout out to, you know, all the YouTubers making great Brazil content. But one last question for you, Swedish Gringo. One last question. How has Brazil changed your perspective on life and traveling?
Well, it's changed my perspective on traveling to the fact that I don't travel anymore, right? I just come to Brazil. Well, I do travel within Brazil. I will eventually, of course, you know, travel to some other countries, etc. But I don't have the urge of just going to a new country. That was something I did before, just counting numbers, wanted to, you know, tick all the boxes. I feel much less of that drive to just see every place in the world, because everywhere I go will just be a little less good anyways. What was the first part of this second part, two-part question?
So the first part was basically how it's changed your perspective on life.
On life, yeah. Well, that kind of concludes the whole thing, because that's where we started, right? I have learned to enjoy life much more. I'm waking up every day just thinking of how I can possibly just make the best of it, and always a little excited about what the day is going to bring, because there's always something good coming out of every day in Rio. There's always something happening. And I just simply enjoy life much more, and perhaps getting more desperate over the fact that I will not live forever, because I want to be doing this forever.
Hey, man, I think you and me both, man. I want to be on that same boat, man. I want to be in Rio de Janeiro doing everything you're doing, man, because you live in the life. You're inspiring people, man. Keep doing what you're doing, Swedish Gringo. But is there any other last comments or words that you want to say for the audience?
No, not really. Don't think that Brazil requires this huge Bible of things you need to know and see and do and be a specific race or etc. Just come here, learn, you know, a few things about staying street smart, and start talking to people, and you will love Brazil. You will not, even in Brazil, just get things for free. You actually have to enter the party yourself. The party is not going to be, you know, coming to your apartment. Mm-hmm. So you need to throw yourself in there to appreciate it fully. I've actually had a few guys come in saying they were disappointed in Rio, and then we had a talk, and it turned out they hadn't really, you know, approached Rio. You gotta get yourself in there, and then it will be unforgettable.